My name's Elinor and I'm the community engagement at the Botanics. What to sow? What do you like to eat is what I always say. So for example, we got the peas, which is the biggest one. Check what size of the seed is, and then you get to choose what kind of container you want to grow them in. So peas, for example, if you think they have to be twice the size, the depth. So what that pea is, imagine twice it needs to be. So if I put them in these seed trays, that pea will be quite far down. It won't have any room to actually grow. So hence why we tend to use these little pots for peas and beans. Now the coriander, if you think twice the depth, they can still be sown in seed trays. Sometimes what you might want to do is maybe use things like these. These are called plugs, because the seeds are quite big, so you can actually pick them and put one or two individually in each one of these. And when they grow big enough, you can then transplant them straight into your site. These ones are quite handy as well, so if the seed's a bit bigger, you can do that. Now with radish and anything that's a root, so radish, beetroot, carrots, parsnips, you tend to sow them directly into the ground, so you wouldn't use any of these. Now lettuces, you see that seed is tiny, you can hardly see it. So the best thing with them is probably in a seed tray. You can't, because it's quite hard to pick one individually, so it's just easier to scatter them in there and then choose which ones have sprouted or germinated and use them instead. I'm going to show you how to do it in a seed tray first. So this is compost seed, you can buy these. First thing, you got your milk carton scoop that you made earlier on. Just fill that totally up, as much as you can. You might think I've overdone it, but I haven't. That's exactly what I want you to do. Any piece of wood or hard edge that you can use, try and kind of wiggle it from this side, one side, and then go to the other side. The reason I didn't start one end is if suddenly you got a lump like that and you go all the way, you end up having a lump all the way in the middle. So hence why you start in the middle. Now, why do we do this? Because when you're seed sowing, you want to make sure that your soil is totally flat. Once you start watering it, it goes into dips, doesn't it? That's water for you. Give it a nice wee tap so there's no air bubbles in there. And then scatter my seeds. Put some in your hand and just scatter them lightly. Not like pepper, like you put lots in your food, more like salt. So it's less, better. And then because the lettuce is so fine and small, this is when I use my other new gadget. You want a little bit of what I call icing sugar on the top. So remember this? So then what you want to do is just a little bit of icing sugar on the top. And then after that, what you do is label. Always handy to put your label and the name of the vegetable in there. And then choose a watering can that the rose is very fine. And then like 2 times over the top, the pot. And then leave it. After 14 days, if it hasn't germinated, then you know it's not going to work. Just start again. Don't be disheartened if it doesn't work. It might be that the packet was old, so check if they're out of date. And sometimes you just get a fluke of a packet that didn't quite work, germinate very well. And sometimes it might be that the temperature was too low. They need to germinate above 5 degrees. And the other thing is if you overwater them, they don't like that either. So it's better to wait. The other way to water, you can do it from underneath. So this, for example, doesn't have any holes. I can fill it up with water and I put that in there. So the water will go up, yeah. Good luck with your seed sowing.